Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be previewing the Washington football team's week 16 matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. I'll give you guys a very important injury update for both teams. I'll give you guys keys to victory for the Washington football team, and finally I will give you guys a score prediction at the end of the video. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content, hit that like button and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. And yeah, make sure you guys follow my Twitter, trying to get to 1,000 followers on there, and also check out WinView. Now let's get right into the video. This is obviously a huge game for the Washington football team if they want any chance of making the playoffs. I think at least they need to win against Dallas and likely win their other two games as well, against Philly at home and then against the Giants. If you want to make the playoffs, you're likely going to need 9 wins the way it's going. Although, even though the Vikings and Saints have been, ravaged with COVID cases, which might make it possible for a team to make it at 8-9, we will likely still have to win 9 games to make the playoffs. So, that starts this week against Dallas. It's at Dallas Sunday night. It's a big game for both teams, because don't think just because the Dallas Cowboys already clinched the playoffs that they're going to, go easy on us. No, they need to play hard to try to get their first seed. So they're going to be still going at 100% against us. So injury update. I talked about some injuries in my video I posted earlier today. Also talked about, players we got back, but Landon Collins will be out. He got placed on IR. He is out for this season unless we make the playoffs. So unfortunate there, because he was playing his best football, down the stretch, down the last few weeks of the season at that linebacker / safety type of role. He was playing pretty well, and it sucks that he got hurt. And we'll see if he's here next year. I would like to have him back at the same role. I do not want him back as, just a safety. No, I don't think any of us want him back. And that's the question, because he has expressed, not recently, but, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that he still doesn't like playing linebacker, but he's doing it to be a team player. So if that's the case, and he next year, he's not going to play linebacker for us, then obviously we don't want him at safety, because he was not playing well there when he's just being a safety and not kind of that hybrid role that he's been playing the last few weeks. William Jackson out for this game. That's going to be that's a big loss, but at least we got Kendall Fuller back and Cameron Curl back this week. Daniel Wise out for this week, placed on IR, and there's Deshazier Everett placed on the non-football injury list. Obviously, a lot, if you didn't hear, he got into a car accident. His passenger, the passenger in the car passed away. So unfortunate news right there. I'm not going to, just prayers out to the, everyone involved. I'm not going to, make any assumptions right now. Once they're, the facts are out there, I'll talk about it. But right now, just, praying for those families involved. And then now, questionable players, Antonio Gibson and Curtis Samuel are both questionable. Don't expect Antonio Gibson to play. Curtis Samuel, probably don't expect him to play, but a little bit more of a chance than Gibson, in my opinion. I only want to see Curtis Samuel there if he is truly healthy. I don't want to see a limited Curtis Samuel out there. I want to see a 100% Curtis Samuel out there, giving him a bunch of targets to see what he really can bring to this offense. The Dallas Cowboys, they don't have too many injuries. They've got a few players on the reserve list. I think Malik Hooker got placed on the reserve list. And then Tyron Smith, I believe, will not be playing in this game because of an ankle injury. Not sure, though. Their final injury report has not come out yet, but they're not dealing with too many injuries. A little bit more banged up than they were last time they played us, but not by much. So now on to the keys to victory for the Washington football team against the Dallas Cowboys. So it's going to be a tough game. Of course, it's going to be a tough game. We're still banged up. I mean, even before the COVID, cases came at us, we were, banged up. Logan Thomas, torn ACL. Curtis Samuel, pretty much out this whole year. Injuries on the offensive line. We're down to our fourth center. Brandon Sheriff coming in and out of the lineup, Sam Cosmi coming in and out of the lineup on defense, Chase Young, some other injuries as well. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough game, but, put on even, add on those COVID cases, it's even tougher because we just don't have many bodies out there. But, we're going to have to do what we have to do, next man up. And so my first key to victory is Heineke has to throw the ball away quicker. I mean, Micah Parsons, Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence, what's his name, Gallimore, they're all going to be coming after him. And, we saw what they did against Heineke, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it was just they were harassing him. And Heineke has to, part of that was on the offensive line, they were getting abused, but at the same time Heineke has to know to throw it away. And instead of getting 2nd and 18, you can go 2nd and 10, and it's still doable. But they just kept on sacking him, getting pressure on him, forcing a fumble, getting an interception. That just can't happen. So I think that Heineke's got to throw the ball away a little bit quicker, and sometimes go and run the ball. He didn't do that much against the Cowboys, and I think they should try to get him involved a little bit in the run game. I mean, Kyle Allen, I think he came in and, one of the first plays, they designed like an 8-9 yard run or something like that. I don't know if it was the first play, but, I just don't see them designing many runs for Heineke, and Heineke is even more mobile than Kyle Allen. So I think they should involve Heineke a little bit more in the run game, and Heineke needs to throw the ball away quick because that D-line, they're hungry, and they're one of the best D-lines in all of football when they are healthy. They haven't been healthy much of the season, but the last few weeks they have been, and they've been on fire. So the next key to victory, we have to find a way to contain them. So part of this is on Heineke getting the ball out of his hands quickly, but also Scott Turner's got to scheme up some plays that that get the ball out of Heineke's hand pretty quickly. That's just what we're going to have to do, and put some extra attention on Micah Parsons, man, because he was abusing us. Same thing with Randy Gregory. We have to try to find ways to limit them, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really hard to do, but, our offensive line is solid. They're still not very healthy, but Sadiq Charles, I thought, was okay against the Eagles, and that's against a good D-line, so let's see what he can do this week. I don't think Brandon Sheriff will be back. And then right tackle will be Sam Cosmi. Cornelius Lucas did not have a good game against the Cowboys, so let's see if having Sam Cosmi back will help us. That will be that will definitely be interesting. But finding a way to contain these guys, that's what's really gonna be the key for us, and that's partly on Heineke and a lot on Scott Turner as well. Next key of victory, I said this earlier, Antonio Gibson likely going to be out, but regardless, I still think we need to try to get their ground game going, whether it's Jarrett Patterson, it's Jonathan Williams. We might call someone else up if we have anyone else on the practice squad, because J.D. McKissick is out and Antonio Gibson's out. But we have to find ways to, just run the ball, because that's, our 4-game win streak. What did we do? We ran the ball a ton with Gibson, and, he's out, but next man up. And I believe Patterson deserves to get this opportunity, and I think he, can do some things. Hopefully, last week he had that fumble, which, scared me a little bit, but he bounced back and got a touchdown later on in the game. So let's see what he can do with a full game. He hasn't gotten this yet, so him and Jonathan Williams are probably going to split carries, but I believe Patterson's going to get a little bit more. So just continue to run the ball and don't get away from it too quick. Even if you're down a little bit, just keep running the ball until it's just not working, and then you can move towards a little bit more of the passing game. And speaking of a passing game, I mean, there's no excuse for Terry McLaurin to get 4 targets in a game. And last week, those targets, there was only one target that was, a nice target. And, Terry McLaurin really should have had a touchdown if Garrett Gilbert throws a nice pass. But, Scott Turner needs to find a way to scheme him up, because, good offensive coordinators or good head coaches that are, offensive minds find ways to scheme open their receivers. I mean, Cooper Kupp is a great receiver, but he's not a top 3, top 5 talent in the NFL. He's a great route runner, got great hands, and got really good speed, but a lot of it too is him getting schemed open, and he's open so many times wide open, and part of that's Sean McVay, and and I'm not comparing Scott Turner to Sean McVay at all, but Scott Turner has to find ways to get his best player on offense the ball, and he hasn't been doing it the last few weeks. Terry McLaurin has not been getting many targets, and the targets he's getting aren't great. I mean, Ricky Seals-Jones got 7 targets last week, and Terry McLaurin only got 4. Like, that is criminal. And, Terry McLaurin, his stats are lower this year than a lot of receivers that he's definitely better than, and it's just disappointing to see consistently happening because of quarterback play and partly, offensive, Scott Turner not getting him involved the last few weeks, and we don't have much of a chance on offense against the Cowboys, especially without Gibson, if we don't get Terry McLaurin involved. So that's just another key to victory. Get Terry McLaurin involved. So those are the keys to victory. Now on to my score predictions. So again, it's going to be a tough game. It's at Dallas. We are super banged up. They're relatively healthy. Dak Prescott is struggling a little bit, but not all on him. And I don't see us winning this game, and not saying that we don't have a chance, because any given Sunday, it's a divisional matchup, but it's at Dallas. And the health just scares me. We're not healthy at all. We keep getting less and less healthy. We are getting some guys back from the COVID reserve list, but that is it. So I'm gonna say 24-17 Cowboys. I don't think they're gonna blow us out, but I think that they will be able to put up some points on us, and we won't be able to score much, because I think last time it was 20-27, but we scored 7 points off of a pick 6, and so did they. They scored 7 points off of a fumble return. So we'll see. Should be an interesting game Sunday night. Everyone's going to be watching. Let's hope we can put on a show, keep it competitive, and if we can win, that would be great, because that screws up the Dallas Cowboys seeding and keeps us in the playoffs. Because if we win this week, we're at 7-8, and the Saints likely will lose to the Dolphins with all the players that are out there, and Vikings are struggling a little bit with COVID cases as well. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video. Peace, guys.